Cricket.
They said he was a tremendously talented footballer, and they believed he would spend the next 2 days thinking over the fine they'd imposed after his trial. Bowyer was watching at Elland Road tonight when Leeds beat Everton 3-2 to move up to third place in the Premiership. Here's Helen Wright.
Tonight, Leeds manager David O'Leary put aside the club's dispute with Lee Bowyer and turned his attention to matters on the pitch. Defending an unbeaten home record, Leeds took on Everton. Fans chanted Bowyer's name. Their cheers tonight were for Robbie Fowler, as he scored his first goal for United since his move from Liverpool. David Batty then set up Fowler for his second of the night. Everton then pulled one back from the instant counter-attack with Moore the scorer. They claimed a second, but Leeds hung on for a 3-2 victory. But even as they celebrated, the fate of transfer-listed Bowyer was uppermost in fans' minds.
Lee Bowyer needs a club, it's like we need him. He's a great player.
Bowyer has asked for 48 hours to reflect on the club's disciplinary action, a fine of 4 weeks' wages imposed because he was drunk on the night student Sarfraz Najib was assaulted in Leeds. Bowyer's been cleared of any involvement in that incident. It emerged today that Leeds chairman Peter Ridsdale has already had inquiries from 2 Premiership clubs about the 24-year-old. And though Ridsdale and O'Leary hope for a compromise, it's looking likely Bowyer may have played his last game in a Leeds shirt. Helen Wright.
For the wrong reasons. Fines, recriminations, ill-timed serialisations. It's been a week to forget for David O'Leary.
We're glad that Lee and his people have seen common sense and accepted the punishment of the club. Lee has his opinion. He wasn't going to accept the punishment, and I put him on the transfer list because of it.
He says he was victimised. What did you feel when he said that? Could you believe that?
Well, there's only been one victim in this sad, sorrowful thing, and it's the person who was left lying on the ground.
To some, Lee Bowyer's 48-hour spell on the transfer list this week was another grubby twist in a tawdry affair. To many others, it was the stubborn stance of an innocent man.
From a football point of view, you can't leave, we can't let him go.
Bowyer's not playing, Leeds don't play very well at all. Bowyer's in the team, the superb team. Certainly last year he was probably the best player that we had in the park, and I want to see him back on the park where he should be.
Does Lee Bowyer regret what happened? Because when he goes on the transfer list, when he says I'm not going to pay that fine, all right, he's done it now, you might question that, and people have questioned
I think he regrets it, big time. And who wouldn't, after what they've gone through? They regret it, all right. To me, they should be ashamed if they're out boozing on the streets, and people who see them should shame them for it.
On Wednesday, Bowyer's teammates made a point of saluting the outcast. Those who've tried to rebuild the club's reputation were in danger of turning into the bad guys.
If this club let him go, Ridsdale and O'Leary should go, straight up.
I come away from that game under no pressure.
The club could have been divided, though. If Lee had stayed on the transfer list, some fans are saying, lose Lee Bowyer, we lose the title.
Well, that's their own opinion from a banner. The players were delighted to have Lee Bowyer back at the match the other night. They were waving to him for that. They weren't showing me up because, as I say, I've got the players with me.
I think O'Leary's wrong with his book as well. Leeds United on trial, I think that's blown everything up as well.
The book couldn't come out in September until the trial was finished. So that, from the trial being scuppered, then I was locked into something that I couldn't get out of.
You regret the title?
Yeah, I regret the title, and the book stops with me. I should have checked on that part. I'm not hiding behind that.
This week Leeds won for only the second time in 7 games without Bowyer. Gary Kelly crossed for Mark Viduka. 7 minutes later, with Leeds operating at a tempo Everton couldn't handle, Robbie Fowler's first goal in all white arrived. Fowler's fitness needs refining. There's not much wrong with the rest of his game. But his second goal was followed by another of the late lapses in concentration affecting O'Leary's team. Joe Max Moore's volley encouraged Everton to briefly make a game of it, even if David Weir's free header and a 3-2 scoreline flattered them. Another home win against the leaders Newcastle today will take Leeds top. Bowyer's available and Sven-Göran Eriksson is scheduled to attend.
there's a moral dilemma, perhaps, still, for England? So many newspaper correspondents saying, we don't want Lee Bowyer in an England shirt?
That is down to them to deal with, not me. That is down to them. We will pick him for Leeds when we think he's right and when he's fit, and then it's England's choice from there.
Is this club still on trial?
I started here 3 years back, and I said to the chairman, I want to raise the profile of this club, and we'll do that by winning people over in the football field with the brand of football we play. And I wanted to raise the profile and make it popular, and I think those 3 years with the chairman's help has gone down the drain, and one boozy night has caused that. I personally think footballers are on trial, not just this club. Footballers are on trial, and how they'll conduct themselves from here on in.
John, not just Leeds players, other players in different Premiership clubs this week in the papers for incidents that wouldn't be acceptable in any profession, let alone being a footballer with the responsibility that goes along with being highly paid and a role model in society. Footballers have got to take stock.
Definitely. But in one breath we're saying that footballers have a responsibility, which they should accept. The clubs also have a responsibility if the footballers step out of line, and Leeds have acted responsibly in disciplining Lee Bowyer, and he didn't accept the punishment, as David O'Leary says, so therefore he's put on the transfer list. Then we see fans who are part of society, who are ready to judge the players when they step out of line, not accepting Lee's decision, which is ridiculous. You should get behind the manager, get behind the club, because if it was a player who wasn't of Lee Bowyer's ability and quality, I'm sure they would have backed O'Leary in putting him on the transfer list. So you can't make one rule for one player and a different rule for other players because of their quality. And I think that Leeds were right to do what they did. And hopefully, I don't believe that Leeds' good work in the last 3 years have been washed down the drain, because if they win today, they go top of the league and everything
Feels
will be
like
okay.
that to David O'Leary at the moment, Graham. Things are very raw. At the same time, why publish a book now that has the title it does, and at any time when you're talking about a court case?
Well, it's more than unfortunate that the book should come out now. And David himself will only know the answers to that, and in the interview we saw, he's accepted a part responsibility for that. But as you say, emotions are very, very raw at the present time, and the quicker that everybody can get down into the football sense of things, I think it would be very much better for everyone.
Well, they've got a chance to go top today, John. The top four this weekend all play each other, so there'll definitely be a change, because the league never stays the same week to week, and it's Newcastle as well.
Yes, and of course, you know, as I was saying earlier, it's not all doom and gloom. From a PR perspective, yes, at Leeds, but if they win today, they go top of the league. And I have to reiterate that I don't believe that the good work that Leeds have, from the PR point of view, it's a bad PR exercise, obviously, in the last week, but I still think they're going in the right way.
Thanks a lot for the moment. Well, we can join John Champion ahead of that top-of-the-table clash at Elland Road. John, Jonathan Woodgate, Lee Bowyer in the squad. Do we expect them to start?
I think we expect one of them, certainly Lee Bowyer, to be involved, probably on the bench. Jonathan Woodgate we're not quite so sure about. His training hasn't been at quite the level of Lee Bowyer's recently, but one of the great mysteries here, and they are mystifying this whole issue, is that David O'Leary is notoriously late in actually telling his players who are involved. They report here at 10:30 in the morning. They're currently down at a city centre hotel having their pre-match meal, hopefully no pre-match drinks, and they will be told round about 1:45 in about 5 minutes' time who's going to be involved. The expectation, though, is that Bowyer's on the bench. There has been thought within the Leeds camp of actually starting